Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and it is time for art journaling. Art journal demo. I'm actually just gonna art journal today. The last few times I've done something different, and today I am just gonna go straight to it. Just getting my computer so I can see your comments. Craftiness. Oh, there I am, clicking on that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change this over and get started. Oh, you don't wanna look at the ceiling. There we go. Hoping this holds. Okay, get this a little higher so you can see everything. All right, I think that works. Let's get this up and let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight to. Okay, so this is the book that I've been working in for ages now. This was my last one that I worked in here. I had my new stencils and I pulled some colors. Today I'm actually gonna focus on using these rainbow colors that I had out for my jelly printing yesterday. And since they're sitting here being all enticing and pretty, I'm just gonna keep going with them. And so, you know, with my usual texture and stuff like that, it was so nice to have a class, a mixed media panel class over the weekend, last weekend, and to introduce people to this, my methods again, because I just, in-person teaching, there's no replacing it, and it was just very gratifying to have people come and learn some of these my techniques, or these techniques, not my techniques, right? They're just mixed media techniques that I teach. And yeah, it was just really, really fun to do it again in person. Good morning, Kendall. It was a wrench. Our kids' school is doing their Zoom recognition for school, their last day of school today, and they were just getting to the seniors, so I had to bow out. I'm hoping I get to go back and see it. But this is that time of year where you think, oh, school's out, it's going to get easier, but then things get a little complicated because there's just so much going on around the end of school. I always feel like the last day of school, I'm running around with my head cut off, trying to work, trying to see the assemblies, trying to do things. Okay, so you can see that this is the Ranger transparent paste, texture paste, and there was something pink on something, probably the stencil, and so it has contaminated or interacted with the paste and has made this beautiful pink color. I love it. I love pink when it pops up like this. I mean, look how vibrant it is. It must have come off of here, but look, there's my rainbow. So much going on. Yeah, I'm redoing the store, so if you come in, you're gonna notice some changes. But one of the changes is the stencils are gonna be organized, and you'll be able to just see them all in one place. Ooh, look at that, already happy, already happy. Look at that, look at that. I love how those interacted. Some of the texture paste is still wet, and so it pulled up, which it's kind of fun. I'll throw this down in here. Ugh, glasses. Okay, I'm going to use, I've got this pot as well, which is the crackle paste. Oh, that's funny, some of it's dried. This did not get closed properly. So here's my thing. Almost all of these mediums will last forever if you close them up properly. If you don't, you are going to risk losing their effectiveness. So, yeah, that was probably my bad, but tight. You want it tight on there. Let's see what happens when I scrape this out with that little bit of crustiness in there. This is very thick. I don't know if it's this thick because it's it started to harden, or if it's just, no, I think it's, yeah, it started to harden. I mean, that's not a bad thing, I don't mind, but let's see what happens if I can get some crackle out of it. I was lamenting that I get to find a decent crackle paste that actually crackles when you want it to. Truly. Oh, this one's doing it though. Look, I don't know if you can see. Oh, look at the crackle. Crackle, crackle. Yeah, I like it. Sweet. Finally, a decent demonstration of the crackle paste and what it does. Oh, who's been part of that conversation with me about crackle paste? There you go. Voila, it happens. See what happens when I throw down another color. This is the red. So what I have here are the Martha Stewart satin paints, and I have just a rainbow color, a rainbow of color, and so I'm just gonna layer some in and see what happens. Try to avoid it getting muddy is the goal, really. What happens if I just layer some colors in on each other? I've got a little Christmas thing going on here, unintentionally. And I'm thinking about doing a Christmas in July activity, only just to sell off my Christmas stuff, because you know, it's just not a good seller for me. Here's some orange. Try to get it on both sides. I don't always brayer in my spreads. It's not, usually I have so much texture. I rarely start with it like this. I usually wait till there's much texture to interact with, but this is kind of interesting. Let's see what happens when we get blue in there. So right now I'm just using the brayer to layer the color in. So lots of things to say to people if they pop on, but since it's just me and Kendall at the moment, I'm just gonna keep going like this. Go back to the yellow here on this side. Oh, yellow. Yeah. Can't really wait for the green to dry on that one, so muddied a little bit. See what happens. Let's see, what color is missing? The red? It's definitely color missing here. A little red. That's fun. Now let's do this purple. Let's see where that takes it. So this is almost exclusively at this point Brayer work that is pulling this out. It's, you know, the colors are drying fairly quickly. This is this side is the watercolor paper, and this side is the that craft paper. So the watercolor paper is very absorbent, so it's really pulling the moisture out of the paint. So the paints are layering separately in a really, you know, in a nice way, so you get each color. And you can see as it's getting wetter, the more layers I'm adding, the more muddy it's going to get. So I'm going to actually blast it a little bit and get it a little dry. See if I can't keep the vibrancy of the rainbow And these are acrylics, so once they're dry, they're dry. They will not rehydrate the way some of the water-soluble stuff I use will. So I can dry each layer separately and really make sure they maintain their integrity and their hue. Or, you know, what I was doing is putting them on wet, and so, you know, I got a little gray brown in there. But look at this funness. Looks good. I'm going to go back and put down some more texture paste. My bucket of texture paste is over here. The class I just had. Whew, there they all are. Let's see if I can put them somewhere where I can touch them without. Let's see. All right, so here is Seth Apter's Sandy. Squeeze that on. You can hear the grit. It's a lot more fluid than I had expected when I first opened it. I was like, oh, it's still textury, but nothing like, you know, this crackle paste. How thick that was. And they take a long time to dry. Now I'm remembering. Or no, I remember. Yeah, they're glossy. That's what it is. I remember that surprise. Let's see. And that kind of a funky smell. Okay, I'm going to now use the crackle paste again because I need to use it up since it is now almost hard in the container. So I'm going to pull out some more around the bits that have hardened completely and put this down here. Ugh. Scrape it out. There's some serious chunks. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I will deal with a slight feeling of discomfort in leaving it there like that. And so now what I'm doing, very intentionally using this stencil over and over and over again on top of itself to get the effect of the geometric crisscrosses that are happening. Saw that when I put this down and thought, I like that. And so I can't quite bring myself to put that chunk on there. So really, really working on a geometric pattern today. Maybe that'll be our title for this week, geometrics. I have lots of versions of this particular stencil in stock. If not, I can't remember if I have this one in stock. Pretty sure actually, it looks new enough that I probably grabbed it from my inventory. Wait till you see what I've done with the stencils. Y'all are gonna love it, seriously. I'm excited, personally. So you can see this watercolor paper. This is that handmade watercolor paper that she has in her books, and it's a little fragile, pulled up there. And that can be fun. It can also be irritating. But it really is absorbent, so it's brought in a lot of moisture, so I'm just actually going to hit it in the back. And there's that beautiful crackle happening again. Gotta love the Ranger products. Love it. Okay, I'm going to come back in with some blue, because that feels like that's what's missing here. Do not hit the ketchup bottles. First none will come in, then a lot'll. That's my grandpa talking through me at the moment. I used to say that whenever we hit the ketchup bottle, which I guess was frequently enough that it became a thing. I could very much hear his voice when I say that. So I've got a big chunk of medium in there, which is why that's not brayering down very well. Actually, I'm going to dry this because I want to add another color, but I don't want to muddy it too much. So dry these colors that are down. And Martha Stewart's they dry to a satin finish, so you can tell when they're dry because they don't look quite so wet. Something strong smelling on here. Might be the crackle paste, I guess. All right, so I'm going to add this yellow. See what that does to it. I like it. Now, part of it is these are very primary colors, which I don't often use. I usually opt for complementary colors in the color wheel. I like actually good example of this, that is these alcohol inks I have sitting in front of me that are tempting me. They're these magenta, orange, and turquoise. The lids. So yeah, I don't usually work with colors this primary, this bright. A little different. This is some ice in primary blue. They actually call this frostbite. The colors I'm using out of here are yellow jacket, purple yam, tartan red, indigo, Scottish Highland, and pumpkin. Sorry about the beeping. I have no idea where that's coming from, but very annoying. Okay, so now the thing about ice is that it's translucent, and so and the thicker it is, the more colorful it is. So you can see that where it's thick in the in between the stencil lines, you can really see the blue. And where I've scraped it over the yellow, it is reading as green because that's what blue and yellow do. But I love doing this sort of thing to claw back some of that texture. Ice in particular is fun to do this with, but you can see now, you can really see the stencil that I used, even the one that I put down very, very first. And I get a nice interaction with that, the intensity of color in between some of these, yellow textural moments. Love what happened there. Neglected a corner or two down here. I need to add a little more texture. I'm going to go back to this. I love what this crackle paste is doing to my page. I love how thick it is, and I love how it's crackling. So I'm just going to go back to that, even though this one is very compromised. No, it smells weird. Oh yeah, it's the crackle paste. It smells weird. Okay. Really trying to get some of these spots that don't have any texture or color on them, or only one layer. Get that layer up. Remember, crackle paste does well in a big thick blob too, if you scrape it onto your page. Dries really, really fast. It's great. So I'm going to use some of this purple ice. Keep building on that rainbow. You know, the way that these packages work, they have a little tube, but you know, these have been open, some of these have been open for over a year and haven't been that well used. And so when it came time to opening them, the tubey bit didn't work. So I've just sliced that off. And then if you leave them, you know, relatively closed, then they seal shut. And ooh, that's pretty. Little purple tone in there with the blue now and the little colors. Like that. Let's see what else I have. Ooh, I've got some orange. This is just paste. And so I'm gonna actually put this down with the same stencil. And this one, yeah, this one's hardened up a little bit and it's just very mushy. And these have a strong smell to them. If you use these at home, you might have noticed. Very rather intense scent. Again, trying to focus on spots that I haven't hit that much. Then also, let's see what happens if I scrape this through some of the texture I already have. Now these are very opaque. So you really have to scrape them down if you want to see the color represent through. Like, you know, I like to get my texture down and then see the colors I already have down pop up through it. So this is really have to scrape down to get that. I really like ice. It's one of my favorite products. forget to use it sometimes, but really enjoyable. Looks like I have all the rainbow in my ice too. Let's see what happens if I throw some of this down. This is red. Goes a little pink over top of some of this, but maybe I can bring out. Like that. So again, the thicker it is, the more it reads as the color it is. So if I want it to look like real red, I just want to put it on kind of thickly. Now it is a little, the ice is a little, it's translucent, but it's a little shiny, so it doesn't dry matte the way the rest of it does, or you know, the rest of these paints are. So it's going to pop off the page a little bit, be a little glimmer, sheen I should say, maybe is a better word than glimmer. And here is yellow. There's a chunk of see if I can get to the fluid. There we go. And just a little pop of color. Pull back some of this glue back in. Actually, what I'm going to do is start brayering. Ooh, let's see if I can do this somewhere. I'm going to start the brayer off on a piece of paper so I don't splodge it. So I get to the point where I get a nice coverage. So now I've got the brayer covered so that when I do it on the page, it'll just hit the top bits of that page. Let's see how that's working. Or top bits of the texture I have down. It creates a veil of color across the whole piece. So now the pages read a little bit together, and yeah. Okay, so let's dry this and do one more thing, and then I have to go leave this to work on next time I come back. Next week will be a little different. I'll be in New York, and so if I have the supplies to art journal, I will art journal. If I do not, I will do something else. But I will pop up, say hi. Okay. I do want to do this. I'm going to throw down some of my favorite liquid gold. Y'all know how much I like doing this. So just going to layer some of this on. See what it does in terms of highlighting, adding a little gleam. I like that. Just flunked across my page like that actually makes me kind of happy. I'm going to do the same thing here. Just do a line. See what happens. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Leveled up. Leveled up, layered up. I like it. Okay. It's not done, but I've got a nice solid layer pretty well over every piece of the page. And what I might do is next week come in, or next time come in and start with it upside down. So that's what it looks like today. And yeah, come back at 1. I do have a box to open, but I also want to show you what the shop looks like because things have really changed around. So yeah, take care, and hopefully I'll see you in the store soon.